Welcome to the new YouTube channel. If you haven't already done it, hit the subscribe button to follow us all season long for updates and content. So happy that you're here. It's going to be a great year.
But let's go a little bit further north, Richard, to your homeland, Seattle. I know you stopped by training camp for a little bit. The Seahawks looked pretty darn good in that last game. They let the big dogs eat a little bit. You saw DK get in the end zone. You saw JSN do his thing. Like, Richard, what are your thoughts about Seattle? Because they've kind of been a dark horse. I don't know what teams expect out of them this year. Is Seattle legitimate contender in the NFC West?
No question about it. They're legitimate. And I think they're poised to have a really great season. And obviously, I think they make the playoffs because they were built well to begin with. They have the receiving core that's explosive. They have the explosive back in K9. They got a really solid offensive line that was really beat up last year. Both tackles were injured. I think Lucas is still on the shelf for a couple weeks. But they brought in George Fant to help with that transition. Charles Cross is healthy again, and he looks really good. Big monster of a man. I think that's going to be good. Geno looks as good as he's ever been. If you keep him upright and protected, he's as good as anybody right now. You can talk about his history and whatever. I don't really care about that. Since he's been in Seattle and he's been the starter, he's been really good most of the time. Now, he's had moments where he struggled because they can't keep him upright. Nobody does well. You get hit in the face every day. You lose both tackles. That's going to be tough on anybody. On the other side of the ball, I think is where they're going to take their greatest leap. Is because they built this defensive line, and it had me scratching my head for a while, Mitchell, because I was sitting there like, okay, y'all are stockpiling a lot of defensive linemen right now. You got Jaron Reed, you got Leonard Williams, you got Byron Murphy, who you just took in the first round, and you're like, all right, that's a lot. You still got Boye Mafe on the edge.
Yep.
You just traded for a linebacker to play edge for you. Who am I missing? I'm
Cheney
missing
Nwosu, who is out, unfortunately.
Nwosu's out for the first 4 games, but he was probably their best pass rusher
Yeah.
and was probably going to benefit the most. I think Jaron Reed is probably going to benefit the most, but he's up there, and I think Byron Murphy is perfect for this system. And if you just talk about Justin Madubuike from last year in Baltimore, had a career year. I don't think he had more than 3 sacks before Mike Macdonald came in and changed that system. And then he comes in and has, I think, 12 or 13 career year. And that's crazy. That's Aaron Donald numbers for a defensive tackle. And so that was really impressive. But that just goes to show what Mike Macdonald likes in a D lineman and his D lineman. And they have such tremendous depth. That's what's going to help them.
You got a lot more than the D-line too, Rich. You got Witherspoon. The kid was a stud last year. I mean, he's got that aggression. I know you can speak a heck of a lot better than I can towards cornerback play, but goodness, he's aggressive. And then you got Tyreek Woolen, fast as can be. I mean, Richard, to me, the Seahawks are a dark horse contender. There's always that team that rises out of nowhere, and I think the Seahawks could be that this year.
No question. I think the secondary is as good as anybody. I think Tyreek Woolen is set for a career year at the corner. I think Devin Witherspoon has been everything they could have imagined and more. You just listen to Mike Macdonald. He glows when talking about him. They're really dynamic. They're playing fast. They're playing confident. My concern is at the linebacker, not the down linebackers that they have, but the guys, the stand-up linebackers. It's just a lot of unknowns there. But in terms of the secondary and the corner play, it's been as good as ever. Feel terrible for Artie Burns. Had an ACL injury in the preseason, non-contact. It just didn't look like anything really happened on the play. And, he was having a really good training camp, really, really poised to make a big difference for this team. And so he's out, and that's a huge blow to that defense. And I don't think enough people are talking about that. And then you got Jordan Love out there. He's going to be really great. Kobe Bryant moved to safety. That transition is going really well. And so it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun. And you just can see the amount of pride. When I spoke to the team, that's what I impressed upon them that I really liked when watching them, is just the amount of pride, every level. Even when the 2s and 3s come in, they take pride in getting stops, getting the ball, getting off the field, getting 3 and outs, making a difference, making tackles. And I I just think that had slowly been sliding away over the last couple of years, but Mike's brought it back, and I'm excited. And that was them running it all vanilla stuff. They weren't running anything crazy, nothing exotic. So when they got your boy Bo Nix in Denver coming into town first week, I think it's going to be a lot for a rookie quarterback to deal with. The noise in Seattle, the fans are passionate. They're excited about a new change and a new team and the energy. It's going to be tough for a rookie to come in here and get a win.
I want to discuss one last topic before we wrap here, Rich. The New York Jets, right? This is Aaron Rodgers finally gets his moment after whatever it was, 5 plays last year going down with the Achilles injury. There's so much hype around this team. I mean, you see so many reports coming out that, they're one of the top 5 rosters in football. A lot of people are picking them to go to the NFC or AFC championship game. Like, what are your true expectations of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets? Is it just hype, or is this more realistic?
It's definitely realistic. I mean, if you just look at the defense last year and the last couple of years, they've been really good. That's why you hate that they're getting wasted. I hate when great defense just gets wasted because of bad quarterback play or bad offensive play or injuries on the offensive side, because they deserve to go in the playoffs with how hard and how well they were playing against some of the top offenses, because they got to deal with Miami and all their speed and Mike Macdonald's dynamic play calling, and Buffalo with Josh Allen and everything Stephon Diggs was bringing before they got rid of him. And so I'm really excited for him. I hope it pans out exactly like just because Saleh's a great dude, a great coach. They deserve it. Their fans deserve it. They've been in a drought for a long time. And I hope he goes out there and, for everything Aaron Rodgers is off the field and all the controversy and, on that field, he's still a savant. He's still a problem, and he's still an issue, and he's still one of the greatest players to ever strap up cleats in the National Football League or any other football league. And so you give him all the respect in the world. His teammates love him, and I'm excited for Garrett Wilson to have his breakout year after what he's had to deal with. Even Lazard, I'm sure he's excited for
I'm sure he
A-Rod
is too.
to be back. They're going to have a tough first game going to San Francisco, to Santa Clara. Aaron has just not historically played well against the San Francisco 49ers.
You don't say, Rich.
But maybe that changes. But
I think you got an interception ball in your house that speaks to that a little bit.
That speaks to that. Yeah, it was a couple games where the score was double digits. But yeah, it's really a great roster. But they just got to put it all together on this season. This is the all-in season. They've had good season. They've been a feel-good story. Everybody's felt bad for the tackle situation. I think they lost 4 or 5 tackles last year, both on the right and left side. So I hope everything comes together and they can just get in the playoffs and make noise and just play to the standard and play to their potential. That'd be fun to see.